Hello YouTube! Welcome to my summer direction crochet along. I'm excited to have a video for you. This is the interlocking crochet technique. So if you read the pattern, if you have it in front of you, which you probably should because that's a good way to start. If you're not used to reading patterns and you just want the video, that's cool, but having both in front of you is one way to learn. So that's my suggestion. The summer direction Cal is a very short repeat in my opinion. Most of my blankets are just giant pictures. So this, I've started it already here, but I'll show you how to do this as well. This is how wide it is. And that's one repeat. Obviously not enough for a blanket. You want to do a scarf, which in the summer I don't really want to, but that's what I'm going to be creating for the videos. I would suggest you do 9 repeats. That'll get you a full-size blanket. If that's too much for you, do less. It's your project, right? So it says, if you're reading the pattern, that the main color, which I'm going to show you in blue here for now, which is really my dark purple here, starts with a repeat of 9 plus 3. And if you're new to how repeats work, it means that you have to keep those 3 windows regardless of how many repeats you do. But the 9, you're going to repeat as many times as you want. So I suggest 9 times 9 and then plus those 3 extra windows. So I'm going to put my slip knot on here and we're going to start. I'm going to do 1 repeat, but you're going to do probably more. And you can either do chaining, so you chain the whole bottom and then you come back and do all those trellises, or you can do boxes like I prefer. So you start with 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then you do a double crochet into that first chain. Oops, I made mine a bit tight. And that creates, now finish our double crochet, that creates your first box. Okay, then you're going to chain 1 because we have all these gaps, and we're going to do a treble, and it goes into that same spot only for this one. Okay, now the way this one works, the 2 stitches, yarn over and go under 2, that counts as your chaining on the bottom. Then you're going to yarn over and you're doing a double crochet. You see 3 loops, it's just like a double crochet. So you'll go through 2 loops, although I like to pinch after the first loop, okay? And then you yarn over and go through 2. Make sure you chain between it and do 2 yarn overs for your treble. The place we pinched is where we're going to go into, under 2 loops. So we'll go under 2 for the chain at the bottom, yarn over, go under 2, but I'm going to pinch between it and yarn over 2. I know it can be a little bit confusing at first. Practice, practice, practice. Try my other videos. Try different designer videos. Maybe you just don't like doing the trellis this way. That's fine. This is how I do mine. And then you can count them. So if you mess up, you don't have to undo your chain, right? You get to the end of the chain and you go, oh no, I don't have enough stitches. I prefer this because it's hard to count sometimes. And you can just keep going. And if you get to the end and you go, oh, I didn't have enough, you can just add. You just add on to it. And if you get to the end and you have too much, yeah, just pull it apart, right? So that's why I like this setup. So this one is a repeat of windows. You're counting 3 windows that you always have to keep, and then 9 windows, and you add 9, 9, 9, 9. Then when it comes to your accent color chain, it says 18 plus 8, which means you always have to keep those 8. And you add 18, 18, 18, 18, 18, 18. The same amount of repeats as you've done here. So if you've done a repeat of 9, you're going to be making 84 windows. And if you've done a repeat of 9 for your chain here, you're going to be chaining 170. Okay, that's a lot. Use your stitch markers if you need to. I'm only going to show you 1 repeat here. The concept applies to your long chain as well. So this is just 1 repeat. And here's what the pattern says. It says place it above. Okay. And then you take this tail and you put it through the window. You go pull through here. Don't lose your stitch. And you have to count the stitches. I like to count the back bumps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's our 6th stitch right there. Okay. So I'm going to give it a little tug. That way when I pull it through here, I know which one it was, because sometimes it's hard to count through the window. So that's the chain I want to use. And now I'm going to yarn over and coming in the window through the back to pick up that chain. But I'm going to keep it on the back. I'm working on the back. And this is how I do my foundation. I like to have the 3 lines at the bottom, dark, light, dark. I know it's not a very light color, but you can, if you prefer to do it a different way, I don't really care. It's your project, okay? So chain 1 to get your gap, then double crochet, go through the window again. Now you can see we use this one, so we got to skip 1, and we're going to use this chain here. This is like the most complicated part of these patterns, I find. Sometimes you get things twisted and you don't know where you're counting. I've made a few mistakes over the year. Make sure you skip 1 chain and you go into this one, and you always bring it to the back of your work before you do your yarn over, so that you don't have any extra yarn pieces going around, right? And you go all the way to the end of your chain, which for me is not super long because I'm just doing 1 repeat. For you, it's going to take a lot longer, which is why I can manage to keep up with you all. I can manage to make a video for each piece if I don't also have to crochet 9 repeats. So here, oh, I think I messed up on my chain actually. That doesn't seem to be, I don't know if it's not actually skipping 1. So if you're really picky, you could go back and find where you made a mistake. I'm just going to pretend like that's good enough, okay? That's my motto, good enough. Who is going to be looking close enough and go, ooh, you know what, that foundation chain, it's not quite right. You know, maybe if you're entering it to a fair, then they might look, but they might not either. It looks fine. These are your foundation rows. Not very exciting yet, but that's how it looks. Now we are going to start with row 4. And this is how you can count them here. You see this is row 0 essentially. Then this is row 1, 2, 3. So that's why we're doing row 4, okay? We take in our purple. Now it tells you that this is the wrong side. You can see all these dashes. The right side has straight lines. And you want to make sure that your working loop and the tail here, it's most important, the tail, has to be on the wrong side. Sorry, we're looking at the wrong side, and this, put this to the back. So I just grab it and pinch it, keep it out of the way. Then this one here, I have chain 3. I already started with 1, 2, 3. Yarn over, because we're going to be doing a double crochet, and it says 1 in the back, which means this green here, go behind it to find your purple, right? So we want to make sure, especially at these start ones, you want to make sure that this tail doesn't get onto the wrong side, and you are not looping around this at all. You're just finding the normal spot that you would use. You just have to kind of ignore that teal, okay? So keep that strong. That's how it looks. And then we are going to do the repeat section. So it says 9 in the front. So you would have 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9. Okay? And I'll show you just only 1 set. So you grab your purple, but bring it to the front. The front is what you're working on, what you can see. And we're going to finish our double crochet, chain 1, and another front stitch means we enter into it and we bring it to the front. Now, if you were counting, which I wasn't because I was talking, you got to remember you can use stitch markers, okay? If you have a hard time remembering that this was your chain, then it says 1 in the back. So right here is where you start counting for those repeats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8 stitches. I need to finish with a 9th. You're probably going to keep going. So here's my 9th. And then the star is over. So I'm done my star, and then it says 1 in the back. So I'm going to go behind this teal and do my stitch. And then don't forget your end stitch goes into that final weird box. And that is row 4.